So, all right, guys, welcome everyone. I hope everybody is good, great, healthy, and fine. And I just want to wish you a happy Diwali. I wasn't there to greet you guys to have a great festival. So I believe everybody now has been resumed from that off and also come back. And thank you very much for your kind love, support, and I've got hundreds of thousands of messages from you guys. So because of your wishes, I'm absolutely now great, right, from this particular COVID situation, right? So let's guys continue with the our main topic. So this particular time, guys, we are on the track of Red Hat official program that's called 294. That's called Ansible, right? Some few lecture on Ansible we have guys already discussed in my last classes. Let me very quickly revise those concepts of the Ansible. So because it's been, I think, around 2 weeks gap we have in between these classes. So very quickly, let me revise the Ansible and what kind of use case Ansible solve for us. Then we'll go for the next topic for today. Today's topic is very important, very important because one of the great use of the Ansible is to automate the thing, right? So in my last lecture, I have talked about the power, or the, I can say, the intelligence part of the Ansible. That is, without knowing the command, if you want to control or you want to manage the configuration, how we can do it, right? So very quickly, let me revise the thing first about about the Ansible and what exactly we have done. Then we will start the today's class, right? So I think according to my count, today is just a fourth day of this class. so technically, I just want to again brief you. We are into the Red Hat official program, that is RH294, and this time 9:15 onwards we are devoted this time to for purely for the Ansible. Lots of guys over here from the corporate world, but a lot of students are from our art program. So this time we till the time the Ansible has been completed, we will devote this time only for the Ansible. And soon I will again also start the next timing also, I think from 7:30 for our remaining topics, right? So soon I will also resume those classes also because right now I'm into the recovery phase of my this health. Okay, so I think within 4 days we will 7:30 we will start our remaining topics, right? So what is Ansible? You guys know, if you have any kind of operating system, or I can say any kind of system, or I can say any kind of environment you have, or so if you want to build any environment or the server, now it is not important where we have the server. So your server is there on the bare metal, server is there on the cloud, server is there inside on the top of container like Docker, server maybe in the virtual environment. Wherever you have the server, if you want to set the environment, okay, you want to set the environment. So for setting the environment, you have to configure it. Okay, and now is matter how you gonna configure it. Okay, the way you gonna manage your configuration is called configuration management. It's called CM. Okay, and I told you guys that there is multiple way to configure the environment of the any operating system, or I can say the server. The typical two way is either you can go for the manual method. Okay, that's why I believe you guys know we don't like and we don't want to go for manual method. The second way would be automation. Okay, but I told you guys in my initial classes that automation we already had. It is not the new thing. Okay, it's not the new thing. We already had automation from last couple of decades or some years, right? But the great change we have seen in the configuration management part. And again, guys, I would like to repeat right now, there's a one term called DevOps that I haven't discussed yet, but in my upcoming classes I'm gonna discuss this term in very much in detail. What is the exact meaning of DevOps? So if you go for DevOps, there's a lot of things we have to undertake, And I can say as a great feature of the DevOps, one of the great feature of the DevOps is the automation. Okay, but automation, uh, here I'm talking mainly about the CM or the confirm management part. But when I go for DevOps, then CI/CD come in play. When I go for DevOps, container engines come in play. Other kind of technology also come in play, right? So those guys who are in the Earth program, we have a detail, and in detail means every bit of the DevOps we are going to cover over there, right? But this training is purely on one of the aspect of the DevOps, or one of the part of the DevOps, I can say, that is called a configuration management. Or because we are saying we are into the config management, right? And we would like to focus more on the DevOps, then I can say it means we have to use automation. But automation is not only the way, it is not the only thing that gonna help you. Because if you want to go for automation in the configuration management, there's two way, I told you in my last class. One is the imperative approach. Okay, imperative approach, and one is the declarative approach. I can say the declarative language, right? So I want my server to be configured, but I don't want, because we have a heterogeneous environment. Right? Okay, one of the server will be Red Hat 6, one of the server may be Red Hat version 7, some of the server may be Windows, or some of the server may be Ubuntu. Different OS, different versions. We have versions also keep on changing, as these companies also are enhancing their operating system. And whenever the version change of the OS, or any new version you want to use, or any new flavor of the OS you want to use in your enterprise environment, then there would be, most probably, the chances the command will be different. Okay, or the program will be different. The motto is same. The motto won't change. For example, I would like to install the software. So motto is to install the software. Motto is to start the services. Requirement is to create the directory. So final motto, final requirement is exactly the same. Even though any of the OS you use, any of the version you use, any kind of new update OS come up, final requirement is the same. But the only thing that is change is their underlying operating system command. So I want to achieve the configuration management, okay, with the automation. But I want some kind of declarative language that give me that flexibility, or I can say that give me that kind of intelligence. Okay, so guys, this part we have discussed already. I just want to very quickly brief what exactly we are doing here. Okay, and uh, and for the config management, there's a lot of tool available in the market. We are into the training of Ansible. So Ansible is just a tool who help me to provide a declarative approach by the declarative language. And what exactly the declarative language is, today is the topic for purely on the declarative language. Okay, and so by the help of Ansible approach or Ansible language, right, they provide me this DL, and using the DL we will achieve a configuration management. Okay, or I can say in the simple term, in any OS, whatever the OS, anything you want to do and achieve in the OS, perform on the OS, you can achieve from the Ansible. And the good thing is, okay, and the good thing is, for example, if you want to install software on Red Hat, you should know yum command. Or if you want to install software on Mac OS, you should know homebrew command or brew command. Okay, or maybe Ubuntu apt-get command. Okay, but in the Ansible, you don't have to know any of the command, right? Maybe if any new OS also come in the market, you don't have to know those command. Ansible would be more than enough to achieve your requirement. So means one language for all, or one tool for all. That's the, I can, you can say that is a key of the Ansible. Ansible is a tool. Okay. Now, second thing, this is a very high level brief. We have discussed already. I think one detailed class I have given on this discussion actually. Okay. Now, second thing is, if you talk about the Ansible architecture, it's very simple, right? The system where you install Ansible are known as controller node. So in my case, guys, to save the time, I already have one control node installed. Okay, this one, and I already booted up this guy. So the system where you install the Ansible software. So in my case, I have Ansible software already installed. So let me use this command. So this is my Ansible control node. How I know? A very simple thing. The system where you find Ansible installed. Okay, and here in my case, I have the one of the latest and stable version of Ansible is 2.10 installed. Second thing, the system where you have the Ansible configure file available, because this is the file that will tell this particular system, right, where we have the inventory. Okay, so in this config file, okay, it is listed that the default inventory that we have is located in this file. And what is inventory, you guys know, because the motto of Ansible is to control the servers or to control the operating system. Okay, and now operating system would be anywhere in the cloud, in maybe in your laptop, it would be anywhere in the server. Okay, according to Ansible, right? For the Ansible, these are the inventory. So this is IP1, this is IP2, this is IP3. It would be anywhere in the world. The only requirement is the minimum requirement is, but always we should require a network connectivity. This is the one requirement we have. And second requirement is, right, that you have is, if IP1 is the Linux operating system, then between the controller node and between these guys are known as actually managed node. Between managed node, you should have SSH enabled. And if your managed node is Windows, then between the control node and the and the managed node, you should have WinRM protocol enabled. So by chance, guys, we are in the Reddit training. We don't have a Windows practical, but if you want, I will show you in my upcoming class one of the demo of the Windows also, that from the control node, how you can configure Windows also. But typically, if mostly we are going to do the practical on the top of Linux OS. Now the point is, Linux would be in your laptop, it would be in the cloud. I will show you all the practical, maybe Linux on the top of Docker also. I will show you how to configure the Linux on the top of Docker. Or maybe if you want to configure Docker also with that Ansible, we can do also those things also, right? So those who know Docker, I'll show you multiple demo of the Docker also in this training. Okay, so these are the some few terminology I just want to brief you. So this is the control node. Okay, if you want Ansible to be controls and Ansible controls somebody, the somebody is IP1, IP2. Okay, so you have to write those IP here. Where in this file? So file name would be anywhere. Okay, but in my case, I created this file in my last training. So this is the file where I updated that IP162 is my managed node. Okay, managed node. And here I mentioned my connection type is, or my protocol is SSS. It but obvious that IP162 might be a Linux operating system. Why I'm saying might? Because Windows also somehow you can enable SSS support. Typically, we don't use, but we also enable SSS on the top of Windows also, right? But normally we don't use, either we use RDP or WinRM or the other protocol also for the Windows, right? But whenever you use C SSH, 99.99% your target computer would be, or managed node would be, or system to which you want to connect, are most likely to be Linux operating system. Okay, so technically, according to my this setup, right, I have two computer. This one is the managed node, sorry, the controller node, and this one that I have booted up already would be my target node or managed node. So if I just very quickly confirm, so IP of my this computer is IP 162. Okay, 162, and this IP would be anything. It is not at all important. Okay, so technically, this part is already we have configured. We discussed already in very detail. Very quickly, I just want to see the connectivity. So from the Ansible controller node, I would like to see the connectivity of the managed node. And I told you guys, managed node is also known as target node. Okay, so I'm here and I'm going to use this command Ansible. I would like to see all the inventory you have. Right now you have only one. How I know? Because it is listed in this file. You have only one single IP, you know. I want all the IP that you know right now. Okay, I want, please go there and try to ping and check the connectivity. And if the login name, password, connectivity, networking, IP, everything is accurate, and there's no other issue, plus your conf file is also configured with this keyword. If you're connecting the first time, I told you guys, because whenever you do first time SSS to any computer, they send the key, And those who don't know the meaning of the key, don't worry, guys. I think some of the classes I have shared of my Linux, that I have very highly discussed about the key. But there's some more few lecture I will take, guys, in my IAC Rise classes about cryptography, where I explain you what is the meaning of public key, private key, CA certificates, and all the things. But technically, those are not at all important for the Ansible. Okay. Okay, so these are the guys setup we have done. So finally, the requirement or the prerequisite for going for the next topic for today is been done. It is already there. I just wanted to revise those things. Okay, so what is the today's topic? So today's topic, guys, is pretty straightforward. Okay, till now, what I explained you about the Ansible. Ansible is the intelligence tool used for configuration management. Means, right, if you want to install any software like in Red Hat yum command, like in Ubuntu apt-get command, you, without knowing those command, without knowing the argument of those command and the syntax of these command, right, from the Ansible, they give their module. Okay, and if you guys remember, one of the module that I used in the Ansible is called package module. So Ansible give a module called package and say, just you have to remember these command or this particular command or this particular module. Okay, and this the Ansible say my intelligence is not come from my name, my actual intelligence come from my modules. These are the one who will run inside your target node. These are the one who will detect which OS they are on or you are using right now, or they are the one who we call their respective commands. Okay, so same module, if you run against this node, let's say this is node number 1 or this is target node number 2, the beautiful part of this module is they automatically detect this is Ubuntu, and after they detect this is the Ubuntu OS, right, they automatic call their respective commands and ask to install the software, whatever you ask, whatever you want to install over there. Okay, so technically the intelligence of Ansible is from their modules. Okay, so it means if you want to do any configuration with the help of Ansible, right, you have to use the module. And how we can use, I think we have discussed this command. I think I've given one complete lecture on the module. Okay, so technically I'm telling Ansible, I want please go to all the for example, this is one of the command you guys know, list host. So I'm asking Ansible what I want please go all the nodes or target node. Right now I have one, but I have multiple. I want go to all the target nodes. Okay, and I would like you to run one of the module there. The good thing is I don't know anything about the IP162. Okay, so I am sitting right now on the control node. Technically I'm here. I'm at the controller node over here, over here. Okay, and say I don't know who is 162. I want you go there. Okay, and do something on the packages, means do something on the software. Why? Because I use a module called package module. M means module. But what to do there? So I'm just giving you some of the arguments. What you to do there? I want please go there and install the software. Okay, and how they come to know install the software? I'm just giving the state to you. I want the software to be present or to be installed. That's all. Okay, and when I hit this, they will go to all the IP. Right now I have single, but it go to all the IP because in the company you have hundreds and thousands of computer. I want my Ansible will go to all the IP either in serial or parallel. We will discuss, guys, about serial and parallel in upcoming classes. Please go to all the IPs. Right now I have a single IP. They detected this. See here, they detect this and say whatever you ask me to do is successful. Okay, and you ask me to install the software. Okay, nothing is changed, but everything is good. Green color is good, means software might be already available there, so I haven't changed anything, but at least I know I know about IP162. So Ansible say my package module first. Technically, if I just try to draw this diagram, I know this is the revision I'm doing again, but it's been long, guys, so I think to again quickly revise this concept also. So So Ansible saying, I'm going to IP 162, okay, and asking to run this module internally. Okay, and what this module do? This module internally try to detect about the OS. And internally, guys, this module detected this is Red Hat version 8. Plus, because they did this Red Hat version 8, so this module is the one say I know this is Red Hat version 8, so I know in Red Hat yum is the command we use. So internally, Ansible call this command and ask this software to be installed. Okay, so it is the way guys actually work. It means if you know the yum command, if you don't know the yum command, guys, it's not about the yum command, right? In OS, hundreds and thousands of command we have, and hundreds of OS we have. I don't want to remember all the command, right? Yum is just one of the example over here. So we'll call the yum command, or these guys call the yum command for us and install this software for us. Why they install? Because we ask them to change my state. I ask them to install or present the software. Okay. So technically, this is the example where I trying to prove you Ansible is a intelligence tool. That's what we want. Okay, one tool for all the OS. Okay, guys, again, let's understand one thing, right? Same thing I can do it manually with the yum command. Same thing I can do with the scripts also with Python or shell scripting. Okay, but here I am focusing more and more about one single tool for all the OS without knowing any OS or without knowing any updated version. So my team don't have to worry about if any new version come up in the market. They will run exactly the same command and same thing they can achieve whatever the underlying command have been changed. That's the one small thing. Okay. But guys, this example is not at all about the automation. Okay. So this example is more about to showing you a concept called resource abstraction layer. What is rel we have discussed already in my last class. means okay, now we don't have to use yum command, we don't have to remember this command, and these command per OS are known as resource. Okay, so what Ansible say I create one layer, and by this layer by this layer I abstract all the underlying command of all the OS. Okay, this is called resource abstraction layer. So what Ansible is doing, they are creating one resource abstraction. Abstraction means they hide all the command for us by their layer. By their layer, okay, you can think it is like a module, by their module. That's what guys Ansible is doing for us. Okay. So but the example that I show you guys, it is about just showing you the demo that Ansible is the intelligence tool. But this example is not at all about the automation. Why I'm saying this example is not about the automation, because right, whenever you go for automation, right, we normally talk about the code. The challenge guy here is if you want to install the software, again we have to write this command. Again, you have to install the software. Maybe this command is intelligent. I don't have to know the respective command. Let's say right now we have only two different target node, IP1 and IP2. Okay, two more node come up, IP3 and 4 come up, and we want these node to also be configured with the Apache web server. So again, we have to type this command. Okay, type this command, and after we type the command, we configure this system and this system also. Okay, maybe the good thing is because of this command, you don't have to know about this OS. Maybe this Ubuntu or Red Hat come up, or we don't have to know the command, but we have to type this command again and again. Okay, and I told you guys in my last lecture also, right? Whenever you use any kind of configuration management, always write the step number 1, step 2, step 3. Right, your steps. What exactly you want to configure, right? Because for company to company, the requirement is different. Okay, okay. The final goal is same. For example, I would like to create a directory. So the goal is to create a directory. Okay, for goal is to create a file, or goal is to open the file and change something inside the file. Okay, but steps will be different. Okay, so for example, some companies say I would like to configure Apache web server. Apache web server. Okay, for somebody, configure Apache web server. First they install software, second they create the file, third they open the file, fifth they edit the file, sixth they start a service, seventh they set up the firewall, some securities. Okay, so so requirement to requirement, okay, the steps will change. Okay, but OS command will be same. Okay, for creating the file, the command is same. Okay, so technically what I'm talking about here is, right, so whenever you want to configure something, always create a always create steps. Okay, so for example, in our company, we would like to configure Apache web server, and for configuring Apache web server, we follow these three steps, or we are going to follow these three steps. First, install the software. Okay, then second, copy web pages. Third, start services. We discussed already these steps, guys, to start services. Now, after writing those steps, okay, now what exactly we're doing after fulfilling these three steps, our final goal, what we want is to configure Apache server is to be done. Now your final goal will be Apache web server, your final goal to be set up Docker, your final goal to be set up Kubernetes, your final goal to be set up Hadoop cluster. Okay, it would be anything. Okay, just write down your steps. I'm not asking to write down the commands, just write down the steps. And then by slowly one by one, convert the steps into the Ansible command, either manual commands or Ansible command or Python script. But here we are looking for the Ansible. And that's what, guys, we are done. So for first step, this is the command we have discussed in my last class. For second step, we know the command. So we have the module called copy module. So for third step, we have a module called service module. Okay. So in my last class, guys, we have discussed this command, and I show you the approach also, how we can create these commands. Okay. But here, what I'm trying to emphasizing you here is, or trying to emphasize on, if you write this command, for example, for the here, if you talk about this one, so command is Ansible all am service and then name of the service, HTTPD, and the state would be, let's say, I want service to be started. So we can write the command, we can type the command here and run it. But this process of typing the command and running, this process of typing the command running is a manual process. So this is not the automation, because you have to manually type the command and manually run it. When manually type here and manually run here. It means right now we have one single computer. 10 more computer come up, I will update my inventory file again, run the same command again and again. And how many command you have to run? Depend how many steps you have. So right now, by chance, I have only 3 steps, 1, 2, and 3. But if you try to configure anything in the industry or any kind of enterprise environment, your steps will be maybe hundreds and thousands. It means any new computer come up, all the thousands command you to again type or go to history and again run it. So what I'm trying to, guys, explaining here is, okay, till now, okay, I'm showing you the intelligence of the Ansible, that's called resource abstraction layer. Okay, but till now we haven't discussed about how we can achieve the automation with the help of Ansible. Okay, so that's the main topic for today. So technically, if you want to use Ansible give you two different way to use the Ansible. One, this way. Okay, we can use this way, as we can tell this way as a manual way. This way means we have to manually type the command and run the command. So we can give this way a manual way, but typically here we don't use manual word here, right? The word is called ad hoc way. Okay, so till now, guys, we have used Ansible in an ad hoc way, means one command per one thing. Okay, we type this command, run it. We type this command, run it. This is called ad hoc way. Okay, the bad thing about the ad hoc way is it look like very much manual. Second bad thing is, if you have 1,000 steps, 1,000 times you have to type and run, and again some new server come up, again you type and run. So we don't want this, right? I want some kind of automation way. And I told you guys in my last classes, whenever you want to achieve automation, okay, the only way to achieve automation is by writing the code. So you have to write a code, and and the good thing about the code is you have to write the code only once, where in some file, and the file where we type the code are normally known as program file. So just open the program file, write the code, and after we write the code, we can say my program created or my program has been developed. Now we can keep on running this program again and again. So maybe your program may be 100 pages, thousands of pages, or one maybe hundreds and thousands of pages, right? You have to type the code only once and keep on running hundreds and thousands of times whenever you want. Just keep on running it. That's the good thing about the code. Okay, and in the Ansible world, this programming file, right? This programming file is technically known as playbook. Playbook. So either you can use the term programming file or the playbook. It is the same thing. There is no difference. So technically, if you want to do a configuration management with the help of Ansible intelligence, means their module, two different approaches we have. Okay, one, I can go for a CLI way, command line interface way, is called ad hoc commands. Or one, I can go for a programming way by writing the code that is known as playbook. So today, guys, I'm going to discuss about how we can create a playbook, or how we can create a program file or a code. The good thing is, maybe bad thing, first time maybe we have to write a code for once, initially for one time. Okay, sometimes it might look boring, but not boring as such, but might look time consuming, I can say. But after your code has been completed, now in the future, just keep on running this code again and again. Any new version come up, any new OS come up, any new distribution change of the OS, you don't have to worry much. Just keep on running this command, keep on sharing this command with other team members. They can also utilize your steps and your configuration, right? So that's what we would like to do today. Okay, so let's start writing how we can write the playbook. Again, guys, I'm repeating. Either I can use the word programming file, but in the Ansible world, it is known as playbook. Okay, so let's start, guys, writing how we can write the playbook. Okay, but guys, before you write the playbook, okay, you should have this kind of sheet handy with you. Okay, especially I say, when if you are the newer or newbies in this technology, just write down the steps. Okay, then also also write down the Ansible command also, the way I have discussed, guys. For example, for software, this is the command we have. For the copy, we have the command with there. Okay, don't try to write the code directly. Okay, so again, I'm repeating, guys, if you want to write the code, that's the way we are going to use from today and the future classes, and this is the way we always use in the real world also. Okay, 99.9% we don't use the ad hoc command directly. We always use the code in the Ansible or other competitor tool also, right? For example, if you go to Puppet, they have the manifest file. Okay, or if you go to SAF as a tool, they have a recipes. Okay, so every tool has their own name, but logic wise, finally they are code. Okay, in the Ansible, they are playbook. Okay, but any of the tool you use, any of the any of the, I can say, syntax you use. Okay, I feel this approach, first write down the steps, then write down your what I say, ad hoc commands. Do it first, then start converting this ad hoc command into the playbook. Let me show you guys how we can write the code. Okay, so till now, guys, if you understood, not for today's class, today's class I just wanted to revise some of the concept, but till now, what are the command we have discussed? We go to my history also. Maybe I can show you some older command that we had. Maybe we had no, I don't have in the system. Okay, so till now, guys, whatever the command we have discussed till now. So this is the first, this is one of the command we have run, right? So if you know how to write the command, I can say this ad hoc command, or I can say this manual thing, we can very easily convert this manual command into the code. How? So let me show you guys how we can convert it, right? So for this, because we are going to write a code, so a code, guys, we always write in a file. So, but before we create a file, let me create one folder. So I'm going to create a folder here to manage my code because there will be lots of code in the future. So it's always good practice, guys, to create a separate folder so we can keep all the code there. And those folders are normally known as workspace. So let me create a folder called WS1 workspace 1. Okay, nothing special about this folder. I just created this folder just to keep all of my code here. Okay, and I'm going to create one file with gedit command, and the file name would be anything, let's say web. Okay, extensions would be YML. Why YML? I'm going to explain you in 5 minutes. So what exactly the meaning of YML? Okay, so what exactly I'm going to do? All these or three steps, all these three steps. Okay, this one, this one, that you normally type manually in the command line. First install the software, second install the copy the web pages, or third we start the services. If you if you don't want to run this command again and again, just copy this command here in this file. How simple? The way you copy. Okay, let me write here because I don't have. Let me copy here very quickly. So first I will um, install the software. Right, this is the command we used in the last class, present. Then second command would be to copy the file. Here in my case, the web pages. You guys remember we use source file like my.html, and destination would be, let's say, where www.html j.html, for example, or maybe let's say index.html. Okay, and this is the third command, html, and third command we use is Ansible. So guys, this is the exact same ad hoc command we have run in my last classes. So the whole class I have given on this lecture how to create this ad hoc command. Okay. Now what I'm trying to show you here is, now this ad hoc command, these three commands, if you put in a file, you have to type only once, right? Once you have to type this, then save it. That's all. After save, now your file, your command is saved in this file. So now we can say this file become your playbook. Or I can say this file become your automation code. Okay, that's all guys. It's so simple. Now you don't have to worry about, you don't have to run this command and type this command again and again, or here in the command line. Okay, whenever you want to run these commands, just come to this folder, have this file, open this file, you want to see this, or just run it. But in the Ansible, we don't write the code in this way. Ansible follows some certain syntax. Okay, this is also the right way, but it's not the perfect way. Ansible follow some other syntax, right? And we have to follow those syntax if you want to write the code over here. So if you want to create a playbook or a program file in the Ansible, first of all, this is the step you have to follow. Keep all the files, all the commands here in this file, and then do some changes here, that do some changes in the terms of syntax here. I can say that Ansible support. Okay, what Ansible say? Ansible say, I know these commands are extra for Ansible. You don't have to type Ansible again and again. Save your time, save your energy. Don't type Ansible again and again. Remove it. I know you have to run all these three commands: packages, copy, and service. All these are three different requirement you have, or three different module you have, and you have to run all the module in all the computers. So don't type all again and again. Just remove it. Okay, and instead all type all again and again, just type all in the top. And what is all here? All is my managed node, right? And I told you guys, managed nodes are also known as nodes are also we use one more term for the node called host. So these are the nodes or host we have. So I can say all is what is my host, is host. The type here host. That's all. So Ansible say you have to write multiples step number 1, step 2, step 3. And guys, these steps is also known as task. So package is one of the tasks, copy is one of the tasks, and service is one of the tasks. So what can you do? Instead you type again and again m, you can use one more keyword here called task. Task, like this. And say package is one of the tasks I have, copy is one of the tasks I have, and service is one of the tasks I have. And what we have to do in the package task? In the package task, you have to install this software. So instead we use a, and here you can use equal to here. You can use equal to here. We can use equal to here. So technically what I'm trying to do here, guys, the same steps I first converted into Ansible ad hoc commands that they can directly run on your CLI. But if you're interested in to create an Ansible playbook or Ansible program file, then Ansible use certain syntax, and this is the syntax I'm following here. So now I can say this is somehow my playbook has been created. But there's some more small changes we have to do. The changes that we have to do is Ansible follow the syntax. In this syntax, if you try to give some vocabulary here, so if you sorry, if you see this, okay, 1 minute. So this one is known as key, and this is known as value. This one is known as key, and these are the values. Okay, so in the Ansible, guys, if you in the Ansible, these are known as key and these are known as value. It's called key value pair. And guys, in any programming language, okay, or any tool, whenever you have key value pair or whenever you want to store key value pair in the file, okay, we have to use certain language or we have to use certain format. And there's three typical format we use a lot in the market. One of the format is called JSON format, one of the format called XML format, and one of the format called YML format. Okay, so you can think these are the format, or I can say these are one kind of small kind of language, you can say. Okay, so whenever any tool, example Ansible is one of tool, right? Any tool or any software, okay, where we have to manage our our requirement, or I can say our information in a key value pair. Okay, 99.99% either we use JSON format or a YML format. Other format also we have in the market, but normally either we can use JSON or the YML. But in the Ansible, okay, the format that we use is called YML format. Or I can say the language, YML also one kind of language is called yet another markup language, or is not the market, or yet and markup language. There's multiple full form they have. Okay, so Ansible internally use YML as a language. So my final say, guys, over here is right. The final say is in the Ansible, if you want to create a code, so Ansible will create a code in a key value pair. Idea is pretty simple. Ansible say, I am a declarative language. They declare what you want to do. And if you want to declare, obviously, but always, it always come in key value pair. For example, I just say Ansible install this software. So software is what? Key. And the software name is what? Value. Why I say Ansible, please start the service. So service what? Key. And what service name is value. Why I say Ansible, please install these things in all the computer. So host is was key. All is what? Value. So because Ansible is a declarative language, or any declarative language you go, you always see, and it but always also, okay, you always see we have to declare. Okay, and for declaring we require key. Means to what exactly we're declaring. So technically, if you talk about this this particular code here, so what you're seeing, we're declaring this one. I want all hosts to be configured. I want these tasks to be configured. So we're declaring. Okay, and whenever you declare anything, you have to use key value pair. And whenever you have any key value pair, you have to use certain kind of language or a certain kind of format. Typically in the market, YML is now becoming very famous format, or the language or the key value pair format that Ansible use. Not Ansible, other tools also on the market, plus some of the cloud tools also use YML, or somebody use JSON. There's look and feel is different, but logically their idea are the same. Okay, so technically, finally, if I try to summarize here, okay, summarize here, if you want to work on the Ansible, or you want Ansible will do something for you. So either you can tell the Ansible with the ad hoc command, means the manual way, or you can tell the Ansible with the help of playbook. But if you want to write the playbook, okay, Ansible don't have their own personal language. Ansible work on a language called YAML. So YAML is not the Ansible language. It's a very common generic language. You can use another kind of tools also. So Ansible don't have their own personal language. You have to write a code of the Ansible in a YAML language. And the YAML language is like a key value pair, or you can think like a variable value pair. It's like key value pair. It means if you want to write the code, you should know YAML language. And I believe guys, most of guys over here, around 99% guys, doesn't know how to write the code in YAML language. So I just want to first invest 10 minutes of my time to explain you what is YAML and how to write the code in the YAML. Then we'll come back to the Ansible again. Okay, so again I'm repeating, Ansible don't have their own personal language. Okay, Ansible use a language or the syntax of the language or called YAML, WAML. Okay, so first let me invest 10 minutes of my time on the YAML language. Then I'll come back again to Ansible, so that I can start writing the code of the Ansible with the help of YAML language. So guys, what is YAML language? So idea is pretty straightforward, guys. If I explain you in this way, okay, there will be a lot of tool available in the market. There's a lot of tool available in the market. Okay, for example, there is a one program running here, and there's one more program running here. So let's say there's two different computers. This is the computer number one, and this is the computer number two. And you guys know, I believe that if if from the computer one and computer two, if you want if you want some data to be exchanged, some data to be exchanged. So it is but obvious, guys. Here there would be one program you need who send the data. There would be one program here we need who receive the data. So it is not like possible that you say IP1 is sending a data to IP2. IP1 is only one who is running the program. IP2 we don't have any program. It is impossible. Both the side we require the program. One will send and one we will receive. Okay, this is a very basic thing. Okay, second thing is, if IP1 program want to send a data to IP2 and the requirement is they would like to send the name, let's say my name Vimal. They would like to send the mobile number, let's say this is the mobile number. They would like to send the email address, let's say this is my email address. So can they send? Answer yes. Can this guy receive this data? Answer yes. Okay, but the point is the point is how this program come to know, okay, which one is the email ID and which one is the name. How they come to know. Okay, because data sent in the network packet, everything is 0 and 0, 0 and 1, electric signal, right? How they come to know this signal is Vimal, is a name, and how they come to know 111 is not the name, is the mobile number or is the phone number. Okay, so that is the reason, if anybody who is sending the data, who is sending the data or sending the value, they always associate this value or associate this data with some kind of variable. Let's say a name equals to, let's say this is called phone number equals to, let's say this is called email equals to. So they always, whenever you send the data, and guys, it's not about the sending data, is a rule. If you store the data in the hard disk, if you store the data in the on the top of the RAM, if you store send the data on the network, right, wherever you send the data and your requirement is to receive the data or retrieve the data, you have to always associate those data with some variable or with some key. And guys, typically in this world, this is known as key. So this key and this is value. It's called key value pair. So we always have to send the data in a key value pair. Okay. So technically, program one from IP1 is sending the data in this way, and this program is keep on checking. And whenever they see any value come in the name, they retrieve in the name. Any value come in the phone number, they retrieve as a phone number. They retrieve as a phone number. The point over here is, okay, this kind of process also in the programming world, very high definition I'm giving here, is also known as SERDI. It's not at all important here. Serializer, deserializer. So maybe in the future classes, when I go for some advanced programming, not in this Ansible, in my Earth program, I will discuss more about what exactly the serializer and the deserializer SERDI. So it's not important right now. The important thing here is, okay, If program 1 want to send a data to program 2, it's something like this. So they said name equals to Vimal, phone number equals to this one. Okay, something like that. Email equals to this one. Now, this is the one of the format we have. And in this format, we write 3 key value pair. Everyone is a line separated. Means we have put one enter here. And between the key and value, we write equal to. So if program 1 follow this rule, then program 2 also has to follow this rule. Okay, and this rule is called a format. Both guys has follow the same format. Which format they follow? So in the market, we have to standardize, because maybe program 1 is created by my company, program 2 is created by other company. So we have to create some standard. So everybody in the world follow the same rule, same format. And that's what, guys, the the standard called JSON come in the market. Standard called YML come in the market. So they say if you want to exchange any data with a key value pair, so both the side will have the same format. Okay, for example, in the JSON, if you go, then you between after this you have to put the comma, and they have to start everything inside the curly braces. Something like this. So if you want to send the data and you say I'm sending key value pair in the JSON format, this is syntax in JSON we use. But no, you say no, I don't want to use JSON as a syntax. I would like to send my key value pair from one program to other program, but I would like to use YAML. So in the YAML, there's small change in the syntax. Instead of the equal to, we use colon. That's all. So whenever you're the equal to, we have to use a colon. That's all. And we don't have to use comma here. That's all. So this is called YAML. So logic wise same, the syntax is different. So what is this? This is called YAML language. That's all. Where this is the key and this is the value. Okay, and this is called YAML. Okay. One more small thing. One more, guys, that's all the meaning of the YAML, right? Even though there's a lot of things in the YAML we can do, but that would be much right now initially to start YAML as a language. So in the YAML as a language, we have key, then colon. There's no space. If you give the space, sometimes they don't support. Then one space, then the value. And normally, if the value is a string, it's good practice to put in the double quotes or in the single quotes maybe. So this is the YAML syntax. But guys, it is like in the programming world, right? If, for example, X is the variable and 5 is the value. So like this is a key and this is a value. But in some programming world, like in some time, we have a data or variable that has a lot of values, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. And we put in the square bracket. It's called list or the arrays. Okay, so if you have some requirement, let's say somebody has a multiple mobile number or multiple email address. Okay, so how can we write here? So if we have multiple email address, for example, I have one more email address. Let's say we have one more email address. Okay, so if you have multiple values, obviously you have to put the comma. But in the YAML, right, if you have any key or any value, sorry, any variable, if you have multiple values, again this key become a list or I can say array. But in the YAML, guys, we don't support this square bracket as such. So in the YAML as a language, instead of the square bracket, what you have to do, you have to first put enter here, and instead of the comma, you have to write new line here like this. So by this syntax, okay, and YAML come to know email is the key, and these 3 are the value of email. Okay, but they might confuse. Maybe there might be some more variable come up. Let's say address. Let's say the address is Linux World, for example. Okay, so how they come to know this email is start from here and end here, and these 3 are the values of the email. To tell this 3, this one and this one and this one are the value of the email. Email is just one key. We have to start with hyphen. Okay, so if this if this value start with hyphen, this value start with hyphen, and this value start with hyphen, it means all these three values are the item of this list. It means email, phone is also variable or key, but having only one value. Email is also one variable, means key, but having three values, it means it become a list. And because if it lists, so in the future, if you want to do any operation on the list like loop or something, we can also do, right? I'll show you how to do those things in the future. Okay, so guys, this is the YML syntax. Okay, one more thing you have to notice in the YML. If email is a key and these three are the values, so all the values start with a hyphen, but all the hyphens should be in same is indent. Means if you start this hyphen with a one space, if you start the hyphen with three space, if you start the hyphen with zero space, it will fail. Okay, what are the space you give in the first hyphen? Like say you give it two spaces here. Second hyphen also you give the two space. Third hyphen also you have to give the two spaces. So all the spaces here should be equal, so that your code readability would be very clear. So there will be no confusion. Otherwise, maybe in the future, by looking at the code, we maybe we can write in this way. If you write in this way, the code doesn't look so much readable, and sometimes there will be some kind of confusion also come up. We'll see in the future. Okay, so anybody who know Python as a language, so same rule that you follow in the Python. Okay, email is a one key, and this is the block of the code. And if you write any block of code, right, all the statements inside the block of code should be equally spaced, and this is called indent. Okay, so if I write two space means two indent here, two indent here, and two indent here, so they are equal indented. Okay, so the syntax, anybody who by chance know Python, the syntax that you follow in the Python, any block of code, you have to follow the indentation, same indentation you have to follow over here also. Okay, so guys, this is a very high level um, uh, explanation of the YML language. But don't worry guys, we keep on using YML a lot. After 2 or 3 days, you guys become so much comfortable with the YML. There might be some more syntax of the YML, but I'm not picking right now because today's code can be solved by these syntax. Okay, but this is the YML language. So technically YML is an independent language. You can use YML other platform also, other framework or tools also. We'll see in the future if you guys would be in my other training. Okay, but Ansible behind the scene using YML as a language or YML as syntax for writing their code. Ansible don't have their own personal languages. And how what is syntax of the YML? The syntax of YML is key colon value. This is the syntax of the YML. Okay, and guys, initially it is good practice to practice the YML. And the best way to practice the YML is and to check the syntax also. To check the syntax also, there's a lot of tool available in the market who help you to check the syntax, or help you to check the look and feel of the code also. Okay, and those kind of tool is known as lint tool. Lint, lint. So a lot of YML lint tool you can see in the market who help you to check the syntax. Because initially for some days guys are stuck facing about, maybe somebody put equal to here space here, somebody put equal to here, somebody give extra spaces here. Okay, so it's good practice to practice by this kind of example. How? By using some kind of lint tool. So if you search in the market YML lint, so a lot of lint tool you can see in the market. So I'm just checking this one, lint, ymllint.com. And here just you just type your code. For example, just let me copy this. Name equals to email. That's all. And go test. If there's no error come up, there's no error come up. So valid syntax. There's no issue in this syntax. And one more thing, guys, it is not compulsory by good practice, because this is the YML language. So normally YML language start with 3 hyphens and end with 1 hyphen. Is a normal syntax sometime we follow. Okay, so if you want to follow this syntax, that will be your choice, but it is okay. So that is the reason they write 3 colon here. So in the last we can end with a single hyphen. By chance this online interpreter doesn't support this, but this is syntax they follow normally. Okay, and let me check this code also. From here till here, let me copy the entire code. Sorry, what is happening? from here till here. Let me copy, check the syntax. So there's no, in the last, you can see validate YAML. Okay, but yeah, if you give extra spaces somewhere and try to run, by chance, guys, in this interpreter, they are not showing any error, but they are actually error. Maybe let me use equals to. Yeah, this is not equal. Okay, so this is a tool, but this tool is not accurate at all. I'll show you other tools also in my command line that are more accurate. But yeah, I can go for this kind of lint tool to check the syntax. Okay, even though if you do use push the single quote or double quotes or not is also okay. It's a good practice. It's good practice always to put the double quotes if you're using any string as a value. Okay, but this is the syntax for the YAML. So a lot of lint tool available in the market. This is not perfect actually. By chance I randomly check, but you can just try use any other tool to check. Okay, but I show some command line tool also in Ansible. They provide you to check the syntax. Okay, so I think guys you got the idea of YAML. Don't worry. In the first go, if you don't able to understand, don't worry. 2 or 3 go of writing the Ansible code, you guys become comfortable with the YAML language. Okay, so finally, what we have to do now, these steps that we have done in the configuration of Apache Web Server in 3 steps manually, or I can say with the ad hoc command. Maybe they are ad hoc command, maybe they are manual, but still we are using the or utilizing the power of Ansible intelligence. But I want Ansible intelligence to be used, means means keyword to be used or model to be used. Plus, I don't want to type this command again and again. I would like to type write a code, or I would like to write a playbook. How? With the help of YAML language. Okay, so let me use the YAML language. Okay, and guys, that easy reason when I create this file, I start with extension.yml. Okay, so the language name is YAML, but normally we give the extension .yml. Okay, so the code that I am creating right now is having syntax, is having the extension .yml. It's not compulsory, but it's good practice to write the extension .yml. Okay, and now I think now you guys can very easily figure out. Okay, host is key, all is value, and between the host and all, we have to write a colon. Task is the key, and these are the values. And now you guys know, because these are the values. Okay, and it means task has 3 values: 1 package, 2nd copy, and 3rd service. It means task is a list. And because task is a list, then you have to start the list with hyphen. That's all. And now here package is a key, and these are the values, right? From here to here, this is complete one string. Okay, then we have to again use colon here, and colon here. That's all, guys. Now this become your Ansible programming file, or I can say this become your Ansible playbook. Okay, so guys, so what I'm trying to explain you, if you know the ad hoc command, and I think now you guys know the ad hoc command. Why you know the ad hoc command? Because in my last class I explain you how to what kind of approach you have to use to create your own personal commands or ad hoc commands. Because now you know the ad hoc commands, converting this ad hoc command into the playbook won't be the big deal. So I suggest initially, if you guys new in the Ansible, just always write the ad hoc command, then convert it. You become comfortable with the playbook. And after 2 or 3 times you write the playbook, you don't have to, every time you to create the ad hoc command, you can directly write this kind of playbook. Okay, this is one thing. But let me explain you one more thing, guys. The good thing about the playbook is, okay, now I can copy this code again, paste. And what can I do? I can write one more, some more task, right? For example, instead of all, I would like to run this task only on IP address, let's say 1.2.3.4. I would like to run this task only on the IP address called 0.9. So this task only run on IP9. These tasks, let's say I would like to install database server. Let's say MySQL is one database, for example. Okay, in the database, I would like to only install the database and start the database service. Just randomly, guys, I'm typing here. Randomly typing here. So what happened? Now, one single file, one single code, or I can say one single playbook, when I run, okay, we have to type this command only once. I save it, I close it, and run it. I come to this folder always and keep on running this thing. Okay. So what happened in the future? If if you want to run this code again and again, you don't have to type. Okay, just you type create it once and keep on running it forever, or multiple times, hundreds and thousands times you can keep on running, right? And because we can keep on running same thing again and again, okay, it means it become your automation. Okay, that's what we have done here. So finally, my code for the automation has been created. Is one thing. The second thing, I just want to give you one more vocabulary here. Vocabulary here is, yeah, one more thing you can do here. For example, right now this code we are running on IP9. In the future, you want to configure one more server. Just open this file and add one more IP here. Let's say IP 1.4. Just open, write one more IP here. Let's say 4.4.44. Just keep on updating the IP here. That's all. Save the file, close the file, and run it again one more time. So all the three tasks will be run against all the three IPs. All these two tasks or two steps will run again in this IPs. So this guys is very simply simple way to manage the things. Okay, or maybe you just type all, so you don't have to type the IP. So all the IP that you have in your inventory file, they pick the IP from there and run all the three or maybe hundreds of tasks or the steps over there, something like this. Okay, and I just want to give one more vocabulary here. Okay, so this entire file, okay, sorry, I can say in this way, these three, one, two, and three, these three tasks or three steps run against all the IP you have in the inventory. Okay, these two tasks will run against only this IP. Okay, so this entire block is actually known as play. This entire block is actually known as play. So I can say in my file, I created two play. Likewise, I can create hundreds and thousands of play here. Some tasks run on IP5, some tasks run on IP10, some tasks I run on IP10 different IPs or same task. Hundreds of plays we can create in one single file. And that is the reason, guys, the entire file is known as playbook. So it's a book of my play. Because you can create multiple plays, multiple plays. So plays also become a list. And every list, guys, we always write with the hyphen. Okay, so we have to start with hyphen, hyphen, and hyphen. And after the hyphen, you have to give at least one space. And because this host is one of the play and this task is the part of the host, so you have to start the task in the same indent. And these are the keyword of task. You have to again give the indent here. Okay, so if you don't give the indent, it will fail. For example, if you don't give the indent here, so host is one of the play. Okay, but this task is the part of the host, right? So it will be come in the same indent of the host. If you give extra space or less space, it will fail. Okay, and because these last two lines are the part of the task, so they have to give the same indent with respect to task. Okay, maybe you can give in this way also. It will also work like this. Okay, but but this shows these two lines are the part of the task. Okay, so these two hyphens or these two lines or these two statements will come after the task or come inside the task block. Or if you give the 4 space here, so you have to give the 4 space here. Okay, so this is space to be equal. But this part of indent, maybe initial by today's class, nobody understood in one single go. Don't worry, it come with some practice. After 2 or 3 classes, you become comfortable with this indent. Okay. Okay. This is your final playbook. Now in this playbook, we have two play. One, this entire play run on all IPs. This play will run on only in IP. This one. Okay. This one. So this is the syntax of the play. So what I'm doing here very quickly. Let me create one document. I can share it, so I can do some changes here and I show you how to run this. It's become very long. Just give me one more, please. I don't know where I'm creating. Is it 24th? 1 minute. So this document I think everybody has. So I'm keeping all of your commands and diagrams here. So right now, guys, what I'm doing, I'm just running this code. Right now, I don't have this IP. So what I'm going to do, I am going to remove this particular play from here. Okay, and save the file. And let me close and run it. Okay, one small change I'm doing, I don't have this file right now to upload. So I'm just creating this file locally in the same folder. This one. Okay, so I can upload this file to this folder. My.html I'm creating here. My.html, my web page. That's all. So in this folder, I have my Ansible playbook. Now, if you want to run the playbook, now, guys, you know two things, right? If you want to run any Ansible ad hoc commands, then we can use a command called Ansible command, Ansible all, and write your big command of the Ansible. But if you have your code ready, or YAML code ready, or your playbook ready, then we have a different command for this, and the command name is called Ansible-playbook. This is the command we have to use. So how we can run this command? So Ansible-playbook and name of your play. Okay, so this command space name of your program file or name of your playbook. So what it will do, it will go to all of your IP, whichever you have in your inventory, which IP I have in my inventory. It will go to all this IP by chance only one single IP and run my play. And understand, notice one thing, guys, here in this file, I have code written maybe 1,000 pages. Now you don't have to type those 1,000 lines of code again and again that you do always on the ad hoc commands. Okay, just one click, they go there. See here, guys, they are running the play. See here, play on all the IPs. Okay, and they are running the task. So first they are running the package task on IP 162. Okay, then they run the copy task, and then they run the service task. That's all. And there's no red color come up. It means the playbook runs successfully. So it means if I go to IP 162 for checking 162, so I can see the software has been installed. I can see this file has been uploaded, or I can see the service has been started. That's all. Cool, right? So, but and there's one thing, guys. Again, same thing I'm repeating here. Right now we have only 3 tasks. It looks like doing the thing manually would be very simple with the commands, right? Yum command or copy command. But I'm talking to the environment, the bigger environment, right? I'm talking about the bigger enterprise environment. Let's keep on changing. Thousands of computers we have, and almost all the computers will have different flavors, maybe. Okay, there, guys, the power of intelligence with the automation will play very vital role. And believe me, guys, nowadays, nowadays almost all the industries conflict management has been now managed by this kind of tool. Maybe they're using Ansible or Puppet or Ceph. Logic wise, all the tool are same. The way they work internally, almost they are same. Syntax they are different, maybe keyword their name may be different, but logic wise and the outcome wise and the use case wise, they are absolutely same. Okay, that's the one thing. Okay, so this guy is one of the way how we can write the playbook. Guys, initially this class looked very much complex, but I try to explain this class in the simplest way that you can guys able to write this code very easily. Okay, now let me do some more changes also in the code. Okay, we change in the code. For example, one of the change you can do here is, for example, right now package is one key and this is entire one value. But right now, guys, this value is what you guys know. This the name is the one of the argument of the package. State is a one of the argument of the package. Okay, sometime sometime we have lots of argument. One argument, two argument, three argument, four, so it's become long list. And because I've had a lot of argument for one particular keyword, the code become very complex in the terms of readability. So if you want to improve the readability of the code, so it will look very simple in the terms of in the terms of reading. So what can you do? You can also write remove the double quote here, and you can also write name here and this keyword here. So it but always is look like this is the key, this is the value, and these two key value pair, because they have come after some space after the package, or I can say it is indent with respect to package. So it means this two key belongs to package. And if any package, because package a task, so it but always these are the arguments. So this is also one of the way you can write your code. Or now because they are out of your double quotes, so it become for the YML it is a key and value, and because the key value you have to write a colon here in this case. Or because HTTPD is a is a string, you have to write the string in the double quotes. Present is also a string, but present is a pre-created value from the Ansible. You know, in my Ansible document, if you go to if you go to Ansible package document, I told you how to see this Ansible package module. Package module. So there you can see the present is one of the pre-created value, okay, of the state. Okay, but name you could give anything: HTTPD, MySQL, databases, Oracle. So you have to write in the book. It's not compulsory, but it's good practice to write in this way. Similarly, here also in the copy is the one main key, and this is the entire big value. Or you can write this value without remove this double quote, give two extra spaces here, and give this first key value pair, and this is second key value pair, or I can see the argument here. And now here this also become colon, and both this name we have given, these are the strings, because they are the string, you to put in the double quote or in the single quote. It's not compulsory, but it's good practice to write in this way. Okay. Similarly, we can also write in this way. So, so guys, why I'm writing this way? That part I also equally write in my last example. But why I'm writing this way? Because this is the most typical way you can see your Ansible code in the market. So whenever you see any kind of document in the market, okay, you always see the Ansible playbook right in the same syntax. Now it becomes very much readable. Now how it look like? It look like we have one play running in all the computers. And in this computer we have task. How many tasks? Package, copy, and service. 3 tasks we have, or 3 modules we have. And in the package task, 2 things we are doing, or 2 arguments or parameters we have. One is the name, one is the state, means to be installed or absent or present, something like this. So now code become more readable. So 19.9%, I can say 100% guys. If you go to any of the Ansible document, you can always see the code come in this kind of syntax. Even though if you go to this document also of the Ansible, if you go down, they have some examples here, and see example also some package name instead. Okay, so they also have a similar syntax. So any document or help, if you go to Ansible, or we also in the from the next classes, whenever we're going to write the code of the Ansible for the automation, we will write in the same syntax or the same format. Okay, so let's have a quick test of this code. Sorry, of this code. So if I run the same playbook, same way, syntax look and feel is different, readability is changed, but there's no SS error come. But yeah, if we have some kind of missing syntax or some kind of extra spaces come up, the code will fail. Let's see. So there's no red error come up. It means whatever code we write is absolutely good. Okay, but yeah, if you do a small change in the code, for example, if you give an extra space, for example, let me give one extra space here, just one extra space here. They're not indented, right? So most probably, or I can say 100%, this code will fail because of the indent. And a lot of error come up. Most of the time they're trying to tell you the error, that the error is something over here. This is the offending line, right? So don't do this error. Okay, so just follow this. And guys, this rule is because nowadays, now all the latest languages, we follow this rule of indentation. It makes your code more readable. Right now the code is very simple, but I'm going to give you lots of homework in the future classes, lots of advanced practical we are going to do, and hundreds and thousands of pages of code, guys, you have to create for that project. Okay, and that after create hundreds and thousand pages of code, you will see that this readability practice will help us a lot in writing the code, plus anything debugging, or plus anything, any issue come up or changes you want to do in the future, it will help us a lot. So having the practice from the initially is always good, good thing of writing the code that is more readable. But YML make it compulsory. So if you practice, if you don't practice, you have to make the code readable. Otherwise, the code fail. So there's no options we have left with. We have to write a code readable. That's all. Okay. So that is a one small thing. So what I'm going want to do here, guys, I want whatever uh, concepts in Linux. Okay, one more command I just want to give you here is, before guys you run the code, okay, there's one command available to check the syntax in the Ansible command. So before run the code, there's a command called --- syntax option called actually syntax check. Okay, so before you run this playbook, okay, this option will check your syntax. If everything is good, there's no error warning come up. But if you write some extra spaces here, let's say like if you could give extra space here also, this code will help you, or this option will help you to tell this code has some syntax issue. Yes, yeah, there's tell you something over here. Sometimes they're not show you exactly, but yeah, somewhere nearby they show you where you have the error. Okay, so you can also use this tool, or I can say this kind of command option, to check your syntax before you run your code. Okay, so let me share this command also with you guys. So I suggest, guys, it's been long. I revised the Ansible, whatever we have discussed till date. Plus, I explain you the power of not exactly the power of, I can say, I explain you, if you want to write a code, okay, here in the Ansible is called playbook, and with the code only you can automate the thing. Now in the future, if you want to run this code again all the IPs or limit IP, you don't have to type again and again. Just open this file and just change here. Even though we don't have to open this file also, we can change in other places also. That's called inventory. How I'll show you in my next classes. But now we have this code ready, and we can keep on running this code, depend how much time you want to do. Okay, So let's guys give me one homework to you, then I would like to conclude the today's class. So first of one of the homework would be the same topic. Okay, I want please go and configure Apache web server, same topic actually, no difference, with the playbook. So it is a practice for today's class, right? But my second homework is this homework is especially for those guys who know this particular technology. So I want those who know container technology, or I can say Docker. Okay, so I want you guys write a playbook that will configure the entire Docker. Okay, configure the entire Docker. So very quickly, if I elaborate this task, or I want my technical one to also listen this task, so they can create one question for everyone. So what I want, guys, the first step would be I want Docker to be installed. Second step would be, okay, Docker service to be start. And those who know by chance Docker, okay, Docker is, guys, is not at all the topic related to Ansible, but I told you guys Ansible you can use for anything and everything. And I believe most of guys know Docker, and if you by chance don't know Docker, okay, so it is very high time to know this technology, because it's a very common thing we use everywhere. So by chance if you don't know Docker, I'll share one of my video class of the Docker, where you go through the classes. One class may be more than enough, guys, to know the basics of the Docker. After to go to those basic classes, you come to this task and then try to solve it. So first you need to install the Docker, second is to start the services, third, and the Docker you have to download the image. Then after download the image, next step would be, from this image you have to launch the OS. LAU, launch the OS. And you guys know in OS is called container here. You launch the container. That's all. Okay, so guys, these steps, those who know Docker, is very simple steps, nothing special to do here, right? But I want these 3 steps or 4 steps, or maybe you can add more, right? But at least these 4 steps you have to achieve from from the Ansible. I want you use Ansible, and Ansible will do this thing for you. Okay, and first I want um, use the same approach. Just search in the Google and say, do you have any module available for installing the Docker software? Do you have any module for downloading the Docker images? And after find the module, for example, here the module is Ansible all package module, because package is the module who will help you to install the software. Okay, after write this, after you write these commands, then manual run this command here in the command line, manual type these commands and test everything working good. And then in the last, convert this command into the YAML code or playbook. And guys, if you use this approach or this process initially 1 or 2 times, you become so much comfortable in writing the playbook. So guys, this is one of the tasks I have. Very initial task, but lots of tasks in the future. I'll show you how to integrate Ansible with the cloud. Lots of things we're gonna do. And plus with other kind of integration with the load balancers and other things also. But we have just started Ansible. Okay, Ansible. There's a lot of concept of the Ansible we have to cover. But just for the today, I just want to conclude the class, and all the diagram I shared here, I drew here, I will put all of in your Google Docs. So I'll see you tomorrow, same timing, 9:15. I'm still here for some more minute for any Q&A. Any questions if you have, you guys can ask me. So that's all, guys, for today, and thank you very much. It's been long, and thank you very much, guys, for all of your support and wishes in this my 2 weeks of time of Corona. Thank you very much for all of your support. But yeah, any questions you have in today's class, you guys can ask me. Thank you, Anirudh. Can you see the timing as 7:30? Guys, by chance, right now, for some time, changing the time would be very harder. One of the reason is 7:30. We have a Earth going on. Um, and second thing is, uh, uh, I have my own personal uh, official work actually, right? Because of this off. But right now, the timing would be same 9:15. Sachin, I am not a god. Thank you, but thanks. Sankar, I haven't see no idea about eligibility test. We will discuss what exactly you're talking about. My public IP is not pingable. How I because we will discuss about in my networking classes. Okay, networking classes about public IPs, all the things. So wait for some time. In my AWS classes is going on. I conduct one. I will have we have some networking classes there. I think your question that you asked me here, it will be covered over there. Yes, Prachika, you can use speak command in the playbook, and you can directly write it. But for this, you have to use a command module. Or we have other view also. There's a concept in the Ansible called callbacks. So this was some advanced concept in the Ansible. And so in my upcoming classes of Ansible, I explain you how to use callbacks. And they also you can control the sound by the playbook. YML is not a dictionary. Dictionary is just a data type. YML is entire language having a list also, dictionary also, a key value pair also means variable also. But it is like a you can think YML is like a data structure. Okay, not algorithm, data structure means here we are structuring the data. So you can see here what we are doing here. So I have a lot of data. So some email addresses, some mobile number, name. So I structured my data in this way. So you can think YML is just a kind of kind of data structure where we structure our data in this way. So my one program can send, another program can read. You can think in this way. So I'm picking guys any other questions over here. No, an SS pass is not needed. So if you run any thing against your target node, um, uh, SS pass is not needed. SS pass is a command or a program that we need in the controller node. Why we need in the controller node, we will discuss in upcoming class if we want. Okay, but in the target node as such, we don't have any need. Only the need is we should have a Python installed there. So in the target node, if you don't have the Python, it won't work. But normally in Linux system, we always have the Python, so we don't have to worry about. But we will discuss about why we need the Python in the target node. But as such, in the target node, we don't need any SS pass or any Ansible command. Even though if you notice, I haven't installed there anything. Yes, Dhruv, you can install Ansible also in Windows. Okay, because Ansible is a Python library, so you can use pip command to install there. Venu, if bridge adapter is not working, it should work. I don't know what kind of error coming up. If you can connect with some of your technical vendors and share your screenshot, this definitely help you if your bridge adapter having some issue in your VM. Someone, I think I explained you why we need why we need hyphen before the argument. It hyphen will tell you that these are the list. These hyphens, not this one. So this three hyphen means these three are the values of email list. Okay, so this is the syntax of the one. What our yesterday class? I don't think so. They just the classes we started today actually. How to manage passwordless authentication? Yes, Manoj, we will discuss in my upcoming classes. It's not a big thing. So, but yeah, we'll see in my upcoming classes how to do a passwordless authentication. So does the computer understand why my language? Rahul, yes, it's not computer understand. It is about uh, some tool or framework understand these languages. What I mean by this, just give me some days, you automatically understand what I mean by this example, right? So so just unpacking this question for some more days. After some days I will again explain you. Okay, so computer never understand Bible, but on the top of computer we run some kind of framework or tool, like example Ansible. They are the one who know how to read these files, or they are the one know how to interpret these languages. You can think it this way. Yes, Nilesh, Ansible we can run for known root also, and technically we have to run for known root. Okay, but I will explain you in my upcoming classes how to do it. Right now, I can't discuss because not everybody is comfortable with a known root, right? But I will discuss in upcoming classes. Yes, Simran, you can integrate Ansible with the Python. There's some of lot of examples come up where I explain you how and why we have to integrate Ansible with the Python. So, Sidipti, you ask a great question actually, or how Ansible handle if both the OS had different software name, like in Red Hat, the software HTTPD, in Ubuntu is Apache 2. So for this, we have some kind of approach. So in my maybe in 2 or 3 classes after I take this example and show you how and which kind of approach we have to use here. You should have started after complete recovery. I guess Bala, but I think it takes at least 1 month at least to complete recovery. So yes, Prabjit, you configure yum for Docker and the target node manually. If you want to try automation, you can do it. But right now, just configure it manually. Balwin, the D means, I think what you're asking, D means daemon. Rutuja, Ansible use yum in Red Hat 7. I think in Red Hat 8 they are using DNF. And why I'm saying I think is all depend upon the developer of the backend module. But we have a way to test this. So tomorrow I show you how to test what kind of internal commands they are using. So I have some trick to check what exactly they're using. So from there you can confirm in Red Hat 8 they're using yum or DNF behind the scene. So I'm just trying to pick up some few more questions over here. Saket, don't worry if you are facing any issue in CG or API. I think some of the few lecture of Python you have gone through, but those lecture is not completed in my IACRI. So my upcoming classes of CGI classes or API, the points where you're facing the issue, it will be solved. Don't worry. No, Prithvi, artificial intelligence is not similar to playbook, right? Concept wise, they are different. By chance, name where both the where I use the name intelligence, but AI is very different things. If you're part of my Earth, I will explain you AI in very detail there. uh, Mohammed, uh, OpenShift, there is no plan for classes, but we are coming up with some classes on Kubernetes. Okay, so if you want to plan for container, you can go for Kubernetes. So any update about official book dispatch? Vishal, most of my staff had actually the COVID actually. So now everybody in the recovery phase. So if any books from our side for some set of group of students over here, candidate over here, we will now this week we are starting, I think. But we'll update you in your group soon when we are start dispatching the books. But now machine learning we are starting soon again. We already started actually, so a few classes we did in my earth, but we will again resume maybe by the end of this week. By chance, Gana, you ask a great question. 10 Terraform distro command is a great command, but as such Ansible, we don't have this kind of command. Okay, we don't have this command. But yeah, after you know the Ansible, you can also try to create your own command like distro command. I'll give you some way and approach. You can also create. AWS, Jitan, the Ansible work, we'll see how we set up in the AWS. So, guys, again, we have a couple of questions. I'll try to touch as much as I can. Remaining question, guys, maybe in upcoming classes, it will be cover from my side. Okay. That's all, guys, for today. See you tomorrow at 9:15 and see you guys. Bye. Take care. See you. All the best. Bye.